guys need to check this out. This is Patriot Model's 1:400 scale Boeing 747 SCA, also known as the Space Shuttle carrier. I mean, I'm sure you've seen this plane from the movie, to memes, and clips of it flying by over LA. For today's video, let's dive into the history and review this legendary piece. Yo, what's up and welcome back for another aviation-related content. Today, I've got my first plane for 2025. It's been a long time since I have a new one, right? So big thanks to Aviation and Things for this historical piece. Starting off with this wonderful box art, and you can see the silhouette of the plane flying by over Hollywood, which yes, it did happen in real life, performing low pass over LA during the final ferry flight on September 21, 2012. The scale of this model is 1/400, and it is made by a new brand called Patriot Model. This is Space Shuttle Endeavour. There are 6 orbiters ever built, Endeavour being the 6th one and the last orbiter ever made. Down there is the name of the plane, the 747-100. At the back of the box, it shows that there is a photo card, Endeavour the name of the Space Shuttle, and that is the registration of the 747. And on top of the box is the registration of the orbiter and the registration of the plane. And on the side of the box, there are more computer-generated images. And this is where things gets more interesting. All of the plane's mission is written here, such as carrying Phantom Ray for 2 ferry flights, carrying Orbiter Endeavour for 12 ferry flights. This plane also carried Orbiter Atlantis for 35 ferry flights, and 38 ferry flights for the Orbiter Discovery. For the Orbiter Challenger, she carried her for 20 ferry flights. That's the same orbiter that unfortunately exploded 73 seconds after it launched, way back in January 28, 1986. Orbiter Columbia, on the other hand, was carried 60 times on this plane. And unfortunately, as we all know, she disintegrated upon entering the Earth's atmosphere on February 1, 2003. And lastly, the plane carried Orbiter Enterprise for 57 ferry flights, the only orbiter that never flew to space, simply because it's their test vehicle and a prototype. They've also done 5 free flights, where they released Orbiter Enterprise mid-air. And a big shout out to Eric Page Liu for designing this wonderful box art. Anyways, let's cut to the chase and open the box. Once you've opened the box, it comes with an envelope that stores the photo card with the SCA and all of her recorded missions. How cool is that? And not only that, it also comes with a PVC card. I have never seen anything like this in my entire life. A photo card plus a PVC card? Noise. But there's more. There are 2 mounting struts. In case if you've lost the first one, you can use the second one as a backup. Advanced mag-isip ha, Patriot Models. I love it. So there you go, both of them are presented neatly. But before that, let's take a good closer look of the stand. It says NASA Boeing 747 and the scale 1/400. You know what? Just by looking at it, the stand looks good and presentable. Well, honestly, I myself is very sensitive in terms of how the plane stand look. If it looks ugly, then I don't like it. But in this case, it looks perfect. But anyways, here's a Space Shuttle Endeavour. I like how everything is so sharp in terms of the decal prints. You can also see the reinforced carbon in the leaning edge of the wing. Its main purpose is to protect the orbiter from extreme heat upon re-entry. Damn, that looks good! On top of the orbiter is where they store their cargo. It does not open in the model though, but in real life, inside that are parts and components of the International Space Station. Yep, that's the one you saw in the box art. The engines of the orbiter are covered with a fiberglass protective cover to protect against debris and weather, and also to reduce the aerodynamic drag. And underneath the orbiter are the heat shield. These are made out of high temperature reusable surface insulation, or HRSI tiles. Oh yeah, the 3 holes you see there, that's where we insert the mounting struts. Same thing on the nose, you see the tiles to protect the orbiter from very intense heat. The orbiter is named after Captain James Cook's ship, the HMS Endeavour, chosen through a national student naming contest way back in 1989. And that's everything you need to know about the Orbiter Endeavour. And now it's time to take out the Boeing 747-100. Before her journey as a shuttle carrier, it flew from American Airlines for 4 years. On 1974, it was bought by NASA and reinforced to carry such a load. But that's not the only one. There's 2 of them. On 1989, NASA acquired a second one, but this time they acquired it from Japan Airlines. That 747 flew for Japan Airlines for 16 years before becoming an SCA. But the one I have here is a former American Airlines plane. Just below the cockpit windows are the name of the pilots. Just pause it if you want to read. Under that, you can see the pitot tube details. The cockpit windows are very neat. You can see the wipers, the silver edges, and a small red tampo that I cannot read. The circle you see on front is called a radome. It's called radome because inside that circle is a radar for weather radar system. There's also a small detail of the 747 hatch. You can actually climb up and wave at anyone. If I had the chance to be there, I'll be like, Bye! Mularga na ko. Oh yeah, remember I mentioned earlier her missions? You can actually see it on the fuselage. Amazing! And the 2 holes you see there and the 4 holes here is where we install the mounting struts. To identify that it is the classic 747, the wingtip says it all. It has a pointy wingtip, so it's not the same on the 747s we see nowadays on the Dash 400 that it has a bent wingtip. And that, my friends, is a detailed replica of the Pratt & Whitney JT9D turbofan engines. Just wow! On the tail of the aircraft, we see the registration of the plane, November 905 November Alpha. As you can see, NASA added 2 end plates on each stabilizers to improve stability. That's how the SCA looked like with the end plate compared with a normal 747 without an end plate installed. Oh yeah, before I forget, all front and main landing gears of the plane rolls perfectly fine. And the landing gear tilts as well. Oh yeah, it's time to add the mounting struts. There are 3 pieces, 1 in front and 2 at the back, just like that. Yeah, that's how the plane looks like with the struts installed. And yeah, we need to install the orbiter as well. Alright, she's in! Prazzi! Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the 1/400 scale Patriot Model's Boeing 747 Space Shuttle Carrier. Alright, let's close this box and let's try to put it on its stand. Perfecto! Yeah, everything's great. From the plane mold, the presentation, the box art, the free photo card, and that PVC card. I mean, that's worth my money. Now I have the Boeing 747 SCA. Now I can display them side by side together with my Antonov 225 with the Space Shuttle Buran on top. If I were to ask, which one of the 2 are the best, or you think is the best? The Americans or the Soviets? Let me know in the comments down below. I promise to make a separate video about the AN225 with the Buran on top. I'm also gonna compare Endeavour and Buran. To all aviation enthusiasts that watch this video, is this familiar to you? If you feel like you've seen a photo of this before, you ain't wrong. This photo was taken way back in May 1983 at London Heathrow Airport. That's during the European tour of the Space Shuttle Enterprise. The 2 aviation icons in one frame. What a great photo. Endeavour is now stored at the Science Museum in Los Angeles, California, open for people to see. And as for the 747, it's being preserved at Houston with a replica orbiter on top. So there you go, that's my review of the Patriot Model's 1/400 scale 747 Space Shuttle Carrier. I hope you enjoyed this video, and a massive thank you to Aviation and Things for helping me to get this wonderful piece. Stay tuned about my Antonov video coming sometime very soon. That's it for right now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.